Powerball jackpot? All you have to do is play. I'm never getting out of here.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $500 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here on behalf of my friends at Aero Seal Colorado. Hey, when your AC kicks on, is that cold air flowing where it's supposed to go with the pressure that it's supposed to have? Because if your HVAC system isn't aero sealed up, it's probably not. Guys, our house, the AC just used to spill into a crawl space. We were not getting the best of our system, and that created temperature differences upstairs, downstairs, room to room. Guys, do not let that happen. Go to AeroSeal Colorado and learn what I learned about their patented system where they seal your HVAC system from the inside, a truly innovative approach to making your home more comfortable. Go to AeroSealColorado.com. That's AERO Seal Colorado.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
It's home selling season. And what's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Low ball offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with an Orchard agent. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale. Their local agents help you sell on market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front to buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then, once you're settled in, your Orchard agent helps you sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one customer said. I went under contract within 24 hours of my home listing, which was amazing. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance is celebrating our 130th anniversary this summer with surprises, animal birthday parties, giveaways, live music, and more. Get tickets at denverzoo.org.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
Wednesday evening in the Mile High City, kind of dark and gloomy Mile High City for all that we're hoping for. Some of the rain we've been missing out on for the past couple of weeks has arrived. Some tonight. We're supposed to get some more tomorrow. A little birdie told me maybe even some type monsoon weather. In the doldrums of summer, you got Marcelo Romano, Dante Gomez, the Mez, for the next hour here on Denver Sports Tonight. To participate with the show on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, and of course on the YouTube chat powered by Champ Honda. All right, Dante, let's get started. And I want to get started with something that you guys started talking about this yesterday, and it kind of like I'm going to kind of go off of what you guys were talking about as far as the prop bets for Bo Nix this season, and then what it kind of stirred up inside me a little bit, because some of these are crazy. Like the idea that, he could throw for is 1-to-1 odds for 3,500 yards this coming season. How many did he throw for last year? Was it 3,900 yards? I want to say something like that. So
like
these
38, 39, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so like things that you think were like, oh man, I'm going to bet the over on that, and there's no problem. But the wise guys out in the desert have these. They're there for a reason. We talk about the big buildings, the hotels, the casinos, because they're right more often than not. So the only part of the conclusion or the equation that we're probably missing out on, and I think Phil said it yesterday, was they probably baked in a little bit of injury, because the only way that he would fall short of that, you would think, going into his third season, when we're all expecting to see, a real growth, because what we hear about quarterbacks and systems and seasons and when they finally start to really put it all together is year 3. That's the only reason it could be short, right? Is that if they think he's going to miss time, and the only reason you miss time would be due to injury. I think it's kind of crazy that we're going to say that about a guy that has not missed a regular season game in 2 years. Yes, he missed a game in an AFC championship game, in a very big game, but he hasn't missed any other time otherwise. Are you concerned about the ankle?
Well, yes. I also do think that there's a couple other reasons you could bake in these numbers being lower than what we saw last year. Bo Nix led the NFL in pass attempts a year ago. Do we think he's going to do that again? Do we think that this team's going to lean on the run game more often? Do we think that they're not going to have these heroics in the fourth quarters where Bo Nix is passing the ball all around the field, and maybe they play with more control in the game and clock management where they have possession of the ball? So I think that could be a reason as well that these numbers could go down. It's also a tough schedule. The Broncos had a little bit of an easy schedule just a year ago, and this year we're talking about a gauntlet, especially through that first 6 games. So I think there's a couple reasons that the numbers could dip without it being injury. But in general, I'm a little bit concerned about the ankle. It's not something that I'm going to be worried about on a week-to-week basis, but it's one of those where I wouldn't be surprised if he goes down with an injury. It just feels like at this point it's starting to become a trend in his entire football career, not exactly with the Broncos, but you go back to his time at Oregon, you go back to his time in high school, his time at Auburn, and there was definitely a little bit of a trend there when it comes to the ankle injury. And typically in sports, you don't magically just go on a run of being healthy for a long period of time if that's not something that you've been able to do throughout your high school and college days.
Dude, like when we had I think the morning show was it that had Mike Kliss on yesterday, and the way he described it. So here's where I started kind of piecing it together. Not only what you guys talked about last year, because I think if you partake in a little bit of the gambling, then you could probably make a decent amount of money if he does see that growth that we expect him to see in year 3, and you're not a little shy to put, some wagers down on it. I'm not going to give you any betting advice on it, but if he were to stay healthy for the full 17 games, you would assume with the growth and the way the offense is supposedly going to change a little bit, that he would hit on probably 1 or 2 of these for sure. Like, for example, like the 30 touchdowns, I think he's plus, 380 to do something like that? 30 touchdowns 5 years ago was, easy, right? Guys were doing it in their sleep during the COVID times and all that. But the games change. It kind of goes through ebbs and flows. But that's one thing. But the thing that I was talking about with Mike Kliss was the Denver Broncos organization is basically going to be holding their breath around Bo Nix. Like, once he takes that first hit, or once he goes on a long run, or every time he goes down, how does he get up? Because James and I talked about this on Freshly Graded today, DenverSports' new hot digital show, Dante. I don't know if you're aware of it.
How long can a show be new?
Oh, wow. Well, with that title, it hasn't even been a year, so it's still
okay.
New. Yeah, yeah.
I was just curious. You can't be saying Happy New Year to somebody in February.
Some
I don't know how long a
some
show can
people
be
have
a hot new show.
their freaking Christmas trees up into February.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, that can happen.
I didn't mean to call you out. I just thought you've been describing it as the hot new show for a while now, so just curious how long.
I think through that first year you can keep doing it.
Okay.
Once I hit a year with that title, then we'll just call it Freshly Graded.
Then it's just the hot show, not the hot news show.
Exactly. Anywho, I was talking about this today because, listen, man, if you're holding your breath and you're describing the organization in doing so, I'm not super confident about it. Like, I hate it. Like, I wasn't even having these thoughts until yesterday afternoon. So thanks a lot, Dante. Thanks, Zach.
Me?
Thanks, Phil.
It was Mike Kliss.
because that was, but this was when you guys started talking about it, I'm like, damn, is this a real thing? Are we just kind of overlooking it because we're eternal optimists? And if Bo Nix were to go down, the season's over. Who we kidding, right?
Well, there's an entire rabbit hole I'm about to go down here if Bo Nix goes down.
It's bad news, but
not only is it bad news. Do you want me to go down the rabbit hole real quick?
Go for it, dude.
Not only is it bad news, it could be catastrophic news for the Denver Broncos because he's up for a contract extension a year from now. And what if he doesn't play the entire year? What if he plays half the games, goes down again? Does it become a bit of a rift between the Broncos and Bo Nix if they don't want to pay him or if they don't want to pay him the big time bucks? What if he's 7-1 when he goes down? What if he's there's just a lot of things that can go awry if he is injured beyond just the 2026 season going awry. I'm talking about the future relationship between Bo Nix and this team, how much money he's making, if they decide to give him that contract. I think there's just a lot of questions to be asked beyond just this year.
That's not a rabbit hole. That's Chicken Little. And I don't want to be Chicken Little, but
it's not Chicken Little because that's realistic.
It's valid. If it were to happen again, and it happened to the ankle, listen, we hear about it that he's had 5 surgeries on his ankles, 3 on one, 2 on the other. And, of course, we know what it kind of cost the Broncos this past year where the injury, when it happened, we don't even know when it happened because it wasn't like an egregious hit or anything. It wasn't like catastrophic, like, oh, turn away, they're not going to show it again. He got tackled, and I almost think it like when he stood up, that's when it actually broke because that's when you see him wince a little bit, and he had to finish the game on that. They probably win the game without a field goal. I think he probably hits Mims on that pass afterwards if his ankle was healthy. But those are valid questions that you would have to ask. And I think it's interesting because you brought up the rift that could come between the Broncos and Bo Nix. We remember what happened moments after the game, moments after we found out about it, right? Sean Payton went up to the microphone and said it was predisposed, that it was going to happen one way or the other. I mean, you can look up the definition of predisposed. It's going to tell you exactly what he meant. And that's not a word that I guarantee you he heard that from whoever he just spoke to. And, yeah, when he got home, he's probably like, what are you guys mad at? That's what they told me. Like, I went out there, I told them exactly what I had heard.
HIPAA, Cello.
Well, and you got to credit for Bo Nix for kind of standing up against that, being like, hey, you shouldn't have said that. And then Sean Payton kind of retracted the statements, almost did it again at the Combine. But I'm telling you, man, he didn't that word didn't come out of thin air. It's not like Sean Payton just went all rogue and was like, I'm just going to say this about my player. He had heard it somewhere, and he went into that press conference and said it. So we already had kind of the backlash from that. I think they've mended those fences. And hopefully this is all nothing, that it doesn't turn into anything. But it is concerning to me that, one, you hear the prop bets and you think some of these are like, wow, really? Look at his year last year. You wouldn't think that he's going to be better going into his third year, and these numbers are lower than what he produced that season prior. And two, if Mike Kliss is describing it as that people are holding their breath, I was not going to be holding my breath. I thought everything was fine. The surgery didn't go as expected, so they went back in, and they really kind of shored everything up. But as far as like holding your breath, and that's the guys who are running the show over there, that's concerning to me.
Yeah, if it's concerning to them, it should be concerning to us. I think that's fair to say because they're the guys that employ Bo Nix, and they're the guys that have all their chips in on Bo Nix at this point in terms of he is the future franchise quarterback, most likely. And I'm going to put a little asterisk there because I am going to leave that door open. If there's an injury, I think that there could cause a real rift here. There's a text here on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 3125. If he gets hurt, they franchise tag him. You think Bo Nix is going to be pumped about being franchise tagged? Or do you think Bo Nix wants that $300 million contract that he doesn't have to worry about money for the rest of his life?
I mean, that's still a lot of money for uncertainty, right? And then you're talking about just differing opinions of how everything went down. Listen, man, I don't want to go Chicken Little. And I'm being completely honest with you. Up until yesterday afternoon, the thought hadn't even crossed my mind. I was all expecting like, oh, everything's good. He's ahead of schedule. He'll be at camp next week, and I don't have to be concerned about it at all. I really wasn't going to be like watching the first time he went down and how he got up, or the first time he gets tackled, is he going to get up? He's going to be okay. But the more and more you think about it, it's like, dude, he went that whole season last year. We had no clue, and even on the play that it happened on, it wasn't something that we were like aware of initially. In fact, we didn't know. We got to celebrate that win for about an hour.
Yeah, it was like an hour after the game. We hear Sean Payton go back up for a second press conference, which would have been perfectly Sean Payton if he was just going back up there to rub it in and be like, yeah, we won a playoff game. But unfortunately, it was the opposite, and it was him breaking some terrible news.
Listen, man, it would be one thing if you lost the leader of your team and the most important position in all professional sports in your quarterback. But he's not the only one. J.K. Dobbins has never finished an NFL season. He's your starting running back. These are two main pieces on an offense that we assume is going to be great, and everyone's giving Davis Webb kind of just benefit of the doubt that he's going to walk into that position and not have any turbulence at all. There's going to be smooth sailing. He's just going to take over, and the offense will even be better than a guy who's done it his whole career, basically, in Sean Payton. There's a lot more questions here as we get closer to training camp that I would think I was just kind of conveniently ignoring. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll have to see how it kind of plays out. You also have to start with the first 6 games that you have on your schedule, which isn't an easy one. So some bumps in the road that we're probably not expecting, but they'll be there for the Broncos in 2026.
Yeah, and that's how sports works. You can't predict everything. If that's how it worked, they wouldn't go out there and play the game. So there's a chance that Bo Nix goes through the entire season. They go to the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl, and all of this is for nothing. But it just proves that you don't know how it's going to go. No one predicted Bo Nix to break his ankle in the divisional round last year. That came out of left field. So we're going to have to wait and see how it goes down. But I just feel like there is it's like the Marvel thing with Doctor Strange going through the
multiverse.
Yeah, well, not the multiverse, but all the different variances of what kind of can happen in that timeline, and it just feels like there's a lot of different options and a lot of different paths that this can go down with Bo Nix and the Broncos in their future.
Be the butterfly effect.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like what happens here if something happens there. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on it.
Going back to the odds though and the prop bets, is there a certain prop bet that you like more than the other? I know we kind of took the angle of
I like the 30
30
TDs, man.
Do you? Okay, you think he's going to be throwing for more touchdowns?
He had 29 last year.
I believe it was 25 last year.
And then 29 the year prior. I think I might have had those numbers mixed up.
I have 25 in front, or 2025 in front of me, excuse me. But he did have 25, and he threw for 3,900. So he was 70 short just a year ago from that 4,000 mark, which is my prop bet. I think he'll get that 4,000 mark. I think Sean Payton wants him to hit that 4,000 mark. I think Davis Webb wants him to hit that 4,000 mark. Jalen Waddle's going to certainly help with a lot of that. I think R.J. Harvey being a weapon out of the backfield is going to help with that as well. At plus, 2.5 to 1, plus 250 there for 4,000. That was my favorite prop. I haven't thrown it yet, and I'm a little bummed that Zach brought it up on the show yesterday, just in case all the people listening out there have already bet on it and the number goes down. I was hoping to get that at plus 250 still.
I like the 30 touchdowns one. Now, and we're both talking like we're not really concerned that he's going to miss any time or any extended period of time, although we've spent 15 minutes kind of going down that rabbit hole that you described earlier. I think there's a lot of moving parts here, and we can look at it and just be completely optimistic about it, but we also could take a little dose of reality and say there's a reason those numbers are where they're at. I'm going to try and take advantage of especially that 30 touchdown mark, because I think he could get there. I'm pretty sure the year before maybe he had 29. So he's at 25 and 29, and if he's getting better, I don't know how that number doesn't increase by 1 or 2 or 3, especially when you have the addition of a guy like Jalen Waddle. We expect Evan Ingram to produce more this year than I think he just had the 1 touchdown last year. That was the one against Philly and that comeback win there. Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, we just keep talking about all these weapons, and the assumption I think is that they're just going to be good and be good right away. I think we have to pump our brakes on that just a tad, because even when things were looking somewhat good before J.K. Dobbins went down last year, Dante, the offense still was a bit clunky. It wasn't early in the year. That's been a problem since Sean Payton has arrived in Denver, is that it's a notorious slow start, and you can't have that with these first 6 games for sure.
No, it felt very Bo Nix reliant, especially with the fourth quarter theatrics and the magic, and it went well for the most part. 13 comeback wins last year, an NFL record, but I don't think that's how you want to play most of your season. I think a lot of coaches would agree you'd rather play with the lead. That way the defense gets to pin their ears back and really get after the quarterback. And we've seen how good this Broncos defense is at doing that. So if you can play with a lead more often than not, I think that's going to make the offense better. You're going to be able to lean on J.K. Dobbins more. He'll be happy. And then you'll be able to even lean on the defense a lot in a way that they get to play with a little more room for error than what we've seen.
Yeah.
It felt like too many times last year it was this high wire act of, all right, if the Broncos get a stop here and then they go down and score, they're going to win the game. And that happened a lot, but you don't always want to have to rely on so many things going your way right at the end of a game.
And I know it's probably it's just a byproduct of being NFL fans, and everyone kind of leans towards the offense and watching production there. And most of the conversations this offseason have been about the Broncos offense because you're making the change as a primary play caller in Davis Webb, giving him that opportunity, the addition of Jalen Waddle. What could all that mean going forward? But I think one of the things that we haven't been talking about a lot, Dante, and you brought it up a second ago, is that defense. And what's harder to replicate? Is momentum easier to go from one season to another being good defensively, or imagining that growth offensively? And I know Sean Payton has said you don't get to do that. You have to dump the game pieces off every year and kind of start over. But I think that's a discussion that we haven't had a lot, and the Broncos have been phenomenal the past 2 seasons. And last season with their sack numbers, especially with, I mean, if they're better offensively, I don't know how you can kind of replicate those numbers. But Zach Allen said a week ago they fully expect to break that record and get above 68 sacks this year. What are you looking for most on the defensive side of things as far as them having success this year for the Broncos in 2026?
I want to see them slow down the run game more often. I thought that Bills game could have got out of hand, to be honest, if the Bills would have kept running James Cook the way that he was running early in that game. And I want to see the Broncos be able to control the line of scrimmage better. The sack numbers are great, and getting after the quarterback's great, but sometimes you got to bow up and be that big body up the middle. And I still have some question marks about this Broncos team being able to slow down the run, because come playoff time, that's what it's all about. And I get there's going to be dynamic quarterbacks in the playoffs, and you're going to want to stop them in the secondary and with the linebackers and whatnot. But if you could stop a team from running the ball, you can take their will from them. Mark Schleyer talks about that all the time, about on the flip side of it, of, hey, when we're running the ball and they know we're running the ball and they still can't stop it, that's the greatest feeling in football at that point. You are taking their game and spinning it on them. And if the Broncos are able to do that with the slowing down the run game, I think we're talking about a complete defense at this point, and a defense that can carry this team to a Super Bowl.
Well, 2 things on that front. Both the way that the year ended in 2024 and the way that it ended in 2025, it seemed like they played excellent defense up until kind of the holiday season, really. 2024
it was about
is
the bye week,
where they didn't play well down the stretch, November, December. And I'm not even saying they didn't play well last year. I think they played better in 2025 than they did in 2024. But those were, I mean, that's when it matters the most. And even after that Bills game, you go refer to the Seth Wickersham piece or short story that we talked about last week, and how mad Sean Payton was after that game. Now, one, you lobbied for a guy to be on the active roster, didn't even play. Did you stop the run? He's screaming at him for that. No. And yeah, the 5 turnovers were great, and that's why they ended up winning the football game. But so when you look at those 2 games, the 2 games that they played this past postseason, 1, the defense had to be great just to even give them a chance against the Patriots. But 2, man, they turned the ball over 5 times, and you could have argued that if they call that play differently for Brandon Cooks and they call it a catch, that the Buffalo Bills win that football game.
Yeah, you're relying on a call that was pretty much a 50-50 call at that point. It depends who you ask and what they saw in that play, and they're going to tell you, oh, it was a catch by the receiver, oh, it was an interception by the defender of the Broncos there. So it was a little bit, again, of that high wire act. We're talking about going to overtime, and you had 5 turnovers against Josh Allen, of an MVP in recent years. You shouldn't, if you have 5 turnovers, you should be winning that game handily in the 4th quarter at that point. But that just wasn't the case for this team. And this Broncos defense had a great game in the AFC Championship, but that was about their first great performance in 2 months prior to that. So I would like to see it be able to be sustained longer into the year as well. I think Little bit of that was the J.K. Dobbins injury. Once he went down, the defense really started to struggle as well. And when you don't have a run game in the NFL, it's hard to keep putting your defense out there over and over. So I'm not going to give them all the blame, but I'd still, if you want to be considered one of the better defenses in the NFL, a top 3, top 5 defense in the NFL, you got to be able to do it through the entire year.
Was it a catch or was it a pick? I'm asking you because I'm from here. It's a team that I root for. I've rooted for growing up, and of course I'm going to have a little bit of bias the way I saw it. I'll ask you. You're not necessarily a Broncos fan. You're from Arizona. You're a Cardinals guy. Catch or pick?
I truly could have saw it either way. If the ref called it a catch, I would have been okay with it. If the catch called it an interception, or if the ref called it an interception, I was okay with it as well. So I truly thought it was a 50-50 play. It kind of muddies the water with when you have possession and go down, are you down instantly or do you have to complete the catch? That goes into it as well. So it's kind of a larger question at that point of what is a catch and what's not a catch. Because if you mark him down instantly, I think it's a catch. But if you say that he has to complete the control through the ground, at that point I would call it an interception.
You're playing both sides there. I see what you're doing there, Dante. It was a pick.
Well, that's what it was called. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any doubts about it. I know Brandon Cooks came out recently and was still kind of complaining about it. His reaction that night told me it was a pick. Because when he rolled over without the football, he didn't get up and make an argument. He didn't plead to the officials that it was torn out of his hands or anything. He kind of just laid there and was like, gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Obviously, I have different view of it because of the team I root for, but even if I'm trying to take that bias out of it and to the points that you were making about surviving the ground and making sure that you actually end up with the football, it's got to be a pick. And I don't even think it was really even that much of a question, but, I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't think I've ever heard Zach Bye's thoughts on it being a Buffalo Bill fan, but I think it was a pick.
I go back and forth. It really is. He did not survive the ground. I will say that. And that is, I believe, in the NFL rulebook, or at least they point to that.
Well,
as
and I mean,
point.
like when his possession, right? And he started to pull it out when they were both still up on their feet, kind of. It wasn't until the ground where it kind of fully came into Jaquan McMillan's hands.
I'll put it this way. Brandon Cooks had possession first. Brandon Cooks had possession when he hit the ground. He didn't have possession a half a second later.
Oh, that's one of those things. That's why we love sports, because it can be debatable, and depending on how you see it, you would have a different perception or opinion, of course. All right, we get to a quick break, but coming up next, it seems like the Nuggets could have probably had a much more active offseason, but yet it's been very underwhelming. Dante and I get into that next.
They're back. Our free limited edition Training Camp 2026 t-shirts. We currently have drops at various Santiago's Mexican restaurants across the metro area. Limit 1 per person while supplies last. For more details and to find the location nearest you, head to denversports.com/shirt.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 1823334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they helped me. They calmed me down. They made me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. 35 years of quality products, next-day delivery, and fast will call service. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. For an 8% scheduling incentive and a special financing rate of 0% APR with 72 equal monthly payments, go to drhi.com. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right.
Quiot Diamonds, a legacy of brilliance since 1907.
We're proud at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood to have been chosen as Colorado's exclusive Quiot diamond jeweler.
From Quiot's Mine to Shine diamond, the natural diamond cut, polished, and designed just for you.
To Quiot's red carpet collections of designer jewelry, including American Beauty, Lyric, and Quiot Star. They're all here.
Quiot diamond rings and diamond studs, Quiot diamond bracelets, and Riviera necklaces have long been the toast of Fifth Avenue.
Because Quiot's whiter, brighter, and larger-looking diamonds cut to the world's highest standards.
I'm Dylan Williams. Shayna and I invite you to come experience the breathtaking beauty of Quiot diamond jewelry for yourself.
Or the one you love.
For the American beauty in your life.
At Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, Colorado's exclusive Quiot jeweler.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code MULTIPLY to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code MULTIPLY to get up to $10,000. That's promo code MULTIPLY.
When you've been hurt after a traumatic car crash, you don't need a sales pitch from an attorney with big promises and a loud voice. You need a team who fights for real results fast. That's why so many across the country choose the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson is nationally recognized, but is local right here in Colorado. So give us a call and let our team fight for the results you deserve today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Back in Denver Sports Tonight, Marcello Romano, Dante Gomez, yourselves on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. We're chicken littling it with the Bo Nix discussion. You can get involved with the show on that front. Also, the Denver Nuggets, which maybe we should have just listened to what they told us in the postseason press conference, Dante, when they kind of led. How many times did they say it could or would include it running it back, knowing that the roster wouldn't be identical to what it is or what it was this past season? I'm starting to believe that they really think that the injuries that they went through in that injury-riddled season really kind of made a dent on them from a front office standpoint, because you have a couple opportunities where we're like, oh man, you got to make some kind of a move in this offseason so that you can stay or keep pace with San Antonio and Oklahoma City and other teams that are making moves in the Western Conference. You weren't willing to put Jamal Murray into a package that could have secured Jaylen Brown. So we know that there was some loyalty to Jamal Murray on that front. Part of me appreciates that a little bit, and being a Jamal Murray kind of guy, I would have been sad to see him go, but I think I would have probably made that move and had a problem or had no problem doing it. You don't include him in that, so that one's out. No, you lose out on the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Now this news today about Cam Johnson, that multiple teams have inquired about Cam Johnson and getting that contract because he's only got a year left. Expiring contracts are like gold to the NBA executives. And the Nuggets are, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. So now I'm really starting to believe that I don't know how it's going to shake out with the Payton Watson thing, but I don't think that they were enamored with anything. And I really don't know how much effort they put into the LeBron James sweepstakes, but he's not going to come here either. So it looks more and more like the 2026-2027 Nuggets. It'll be pretty dang similar to the one that we just saw get bounced in the first round.
Yeah, and the Cam Johnson reports are very interesting to me. I did not see that going that way, with the Nuggets not really being too interested in teams that are calling and seeing if they can acquire Cam Johnson. I thought that would have been the easy move for the Nuggets to reduce their reduce the salary that they're paying out, reduce the luxury tax that they're going to have to pay, reduce the repeater tax that they're going to have to pay. That felt like the easy move for this Nuggets ownership and this Nuggets front office. So I'm surprised that they're not interested in trading him at this moment, and who knows, maybe we get to the beginning of the season and things are different by then. But you are right, it feels like it's going to be a pretty similar team to last year, maybe a little bit worse. You're missing Jonas Valanciunas as your backup big. You're missing Tim Hardaway Jr., who was a 6th Man of the Year candidate. So definitely a couple holes there to fix, but you're hoping that Payton Watson can take a big step forward if you are able to keep him and they match an offer sheet, if he gets an offer sheet from a different team. So we'll see where the chips lie at the end of the year, but I don't see this team as being terrible or anything like that. I think they're going to be really good. I think they can be the 3 seed in the West. I think if everything goes right and maybe San Antonio or Oklahoma City takes the regular season a little less serious than what we've seen this last year, maybe the Nuggets are the 2 seed in the regular season, and who knows what happens with injury luck. I would say this, best on best, I don't think the Nuggets are better than the Thunder or the Spurs or maybe even Minnesota for that, but it's not always best on best. The best team doesn't always win. The Nuggets saw that just this last playoffs. They were the better team over Minnesota and they lost. So sometimes the better team doesn't always win, and if your name is in the hat at the end of the year in the playoffs there, you have a chance to go out and do it. We saw Indiana make it to the finals 2 years ago. No one had that happening. No one saw the Knicks going out and winning the championship this year. So we've had some unexpected teams make the finals. Maybe that can be the Nuggets this year.
Well, dude, you're talking about a team that won 54 games last year when Aaron Gordon missed how much time? Nikola Jokic missed a month. Payton Watson missed extended time. Christian Brown missed extended time. Cam Johnson, the guy we just started this conversation with, missed extended time. For you to put up 54 wins in this league, I'm not arguing with you. I think they're going to be a damn good regular season basketball team again. The problem is, like, we can't ignore what we've seen over the past 2 seasons. Listen, I love Aaron Gordon. He's probably my favorite Nugget. But if you can't stay healthy or be healthy when it matters the most, it does the Nuggets no good. And for whatever reason, this was kind of a flip on what we've traditionally seen. Jamal Murray was relatively healthy for a majority of the season and had his best regular season, and then kind of just pooed the bed in the postseason.
Yeah, it was a bad matchup, Chelly. You didn't hear? It was a bad matchup this year. It was a bad matchup the year before. It was a bad matchup the year before that.
Here comes that hate.
He really seems to struggle when he plays good teams that have good defensive guards. It's something that, I don't know, these other teams have figured out. If you have young, athletic guys that can pester him, he's not going to be good. And it's unfortunate. Maybe they'll play a really bad team in the playoffs next year, and then he'll be good.
Oh, wow. Listen to these shots being fired by the Miz.
Speaking of shots and speaking of Cam Johnson, did you see his all-time starting 5 with players that he's played with?
Cam Johnson?
Yes. He was asked.
No.
Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon, and he was in the starting 5. So it's him at small forward. It's Jokic and Gordon are his front court. And then his back court is Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I didn't see Jamal Murray on the list, though. He must have forgot about it. His current teammate.
Oh, that's kind of messed up, man.
By me or by Cam Johnson?
No, I'm just the way that you kind of just painted that picture, the way it sounded didn't sound particularly nice. It was like shots fired. Like whenever we bring up Jamal Murray, between you and my guy Kyle Reese on Sunday mornings, if you guys can get those shots fired at 27, you have no problem with it at all.
I might have a
conveniently forget some of the massive shots that he made in postseasons, conveniently forget how he played in the bubble, conveniently forget that you don't win that championship if it ain't for Jamal Murray. Those things matter.
Cello, there's 20 people that could have done Jamal Murray's job and won a championship
20?
that year. Yes.
Wow.
He's De'Aaron Fox. He's a good player, but he's just not elite.
De'Aaron Fox, but he has a championship. There's a big qualifying statement that you're forgetting there.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox almost got carried by an international superstar this year, too, to a ring.
Wow.
They're pretty much identical, except Jokic won it and Wemby didn't.
Yeah. Well, they don't win it with like if the Spurs would have won, which they weren't even really particularly close to winning that
They were
championship.
favorites, though.
Well, and they put such an emphasis on getting past Oklahoma City, they did not credit the New York Knicks at all. And even if they would have won it, I don't think De'Aaron Fox was a big part of even them getting to the finals.
He's as much of a part as it is Jamal Murray.
He missed a lot of time due to injury during that postseason run, and he was probably one of their bad players during the finals. Like, you should have kept Harper on the field or on the court much more than having De'Aaron Fox, which is kind of crazy to say because he's a veteran. You kind of get to pick where he landed with Wemby. I don't like that comparison. That's fine.
It's identical, actually. They're basically the same player, and they have pretty similar co-stars. Wemby's just 22, and Jokic's in his prime now. That's how he was able to win it. Do you want to know how bad Jamal Murray was? I'm looking up field goal percentage for the playoffs, and this is just guards.
I'm not trying to defend
real quick.
postseason
I just got to get this last one off.
Okay.
I had to hit the show more button for Jamal Murray to pop up on this list. That's how low on the list he is. What was it, 30-something?
I also don't remember LeBron James ever being
35%
interviewed and saying that De'Aaron Fox was that blank. Like there was a
well,
podcast.
because De'Aaron Fox was the best player. If Jamal Murray was in Sacramento, it would have been the exact same Sacramento Kings team as when Fox was there.
He's got a championship, man, and that tandem with him and Jokic. All I'm saying is we can find it. We can look for it during the break. We're going to take one here in a second. LeBron James, unprovoked, was asked about the Nuggets, and he was talking about Jokic, and Jokic deserves all the credit he's been given. But then he goes on to make a statement about Jamal Murray, like he's that real MFer. I don't know that LeBron James ever said that about De'Aaron Fox.
I don't know if he has either, but LeBron James has said a lot of lies in his life.
Yeah.
There's actually videos that collate all of the lies that he said. Maybe that's in one of them as well.
We'll look for that during the break. But coming up, I also want to know what you think the landing spot for LeBron James is. We'll do that next. And the Rockies, how aggressive or how, I don't know, available should they be as we approach the Major League Baseball trade deadline? Dante and I get into that one next.
Bo Nix just threw for nearly 4,000 yards and took Denver to the AFC Championship game. And the national media is still comparing him to guys who haven't done half of that.
This bothers me. I feel like Bo gets lumped in with Penix and J.J. McCarthy as opposed to being lumped in with Jade McDaniels, Drake May, and Caleb Williams. There's that delineating line that just really irritates me.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 25% upfront bonus? And are they promising you up to 9% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait, only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They aren't. That's up to $25,000 upfront or up to $9,000 per year on $100,000, guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in most states has Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is the job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. The most intelligent Wi-Fi? Well, it's Wi-Fi that can actually heal itself when there's a problem. The most reliable Wi-Fi for streaming, gaming, working from home. Wi-Fi in every corner of your home, side to side, top to bottom. Wi-Fi that's security blanket for your network. Fiber-powered network with 99.999% reliability. Wi-Fi built for speed, powered by fiber. Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together seamlessly. Lock in 5 years of predictability. 5 years on the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi with our best equipment. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Price lock guaranteed for 5 years. Same price, no contracts, no commitments. Everything you need included. Data, equipment, and the most reliable Wi-Fi. Imagine that. It's only from my friends at Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Most home sellers get one offer. It's somewhere between lowball and not good enough. Orchard changes that. With Orchard's new Orchard offers, you don't just get one offer. You get multiple cash offers from serious investors all competing for your home. That's right. Make investors compete with Orchard's cash offer marketplace. Here's how it works. You work with an Orchard agent who submits your home to their exclusive network of hundreds of local cash buyers. They come to you with offers. You review them all and pick the best one on your terms. So you don't have to settle on one offer or worry about leaving money on the table. You see every offer side by side. That's how you know you're getting top dollar. Orchard offers means no repairs, no showings, no drawn-out process. Before you accept any offer, see them all first. Get a free home valuation and see your offers today with Orchard offers. Go to Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
When an 80,000-pound semi-truck collides with a passenger vehicle, the results can be devastating. I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm, and for nearly 50 years, my firm has been fighting for seriously injured truck accident victims in Colorado. These are complex cases that require serious resources and experience. We bring both to every case to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. If you or someone you love has been seriously injured in a trucking accident, don't wait. Call the Wilhite Law Firm, 303-GOOD-LAW, or visit wilhitewins.com.
Hey, it's Mike Evans with all these Bluebird days in Colorado. Enjoy the view through energy-efficient windows from Bluebird Windows and Doors. Through July, it's their Buy More, Save More event. Save up to 20% on your window and door projects. And when you mention you heard it from me, you'll save an extra 5%. Bluebird's family-owned, serving the Front Range for over a decade with windows, doors, and siding built for Colorado's harsh climate. Financing is available. Visit GoBluebirdCO.com. Bluebird Windows and Doors. Make today a Bluebird day.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Fitness Gallery, selling the world's finest fitness equipment.
One Wheel Broncos talk. Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Hey, I like that one, Dante.
I don't know how to feel yet.
Come on.
I also feel like I have a natural rivalry with Puerto Rico and Cuban, and you guys kind of stole our flag, except made it worse.
Gotcha.
Are you
All
Puerto
right.
Rican?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're just a fan of the song?
Yeah, it's a good jam, dude. That's a good way to end it. You guys were giving Drew Spivak crap, I think, at the end of the drive for a selection. I'm like, I'm going to pick one to end Denver Sports Tonight, and that's a good one right there. Puts you in a good mood. All right, I do want to reference the exact quote I was talking about as you were throwing all that hate upon Jamal Murray.
I got one
as you
more
do.
thing. I'm willing to agree. De'Aaron Fox, or Jamal Murray is not De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox at least shot 40% in the playoffs.
Oh, wow. This from LeBron James about Jamal Murray in an interview just a couple years back, I think. It says, it starts with Joker, but I don't think Jamal Murray gets enough credit. People get caught up in just thinking it's Joker, Joker, Joker. How do you stop the Joker, man? When it comes to nut crunching time, yes, Joker's going to make a lot of plays. It's that MF or Jamal Murray that will send you home, and I'm a victim of it. He just makes plays. It's a sense of calmness when the ball is in his hand. He has the ability to go backdoor. He's so shifty with the step backs going right. You can't even dictate which way. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure that LeBron James, most people's second best player of all time, and one of the smartest basketball players we've seen ever, was saying that stuff about your guy De'Aaron Fox.
He might not have been, but I mean, Jamal Murray, he's bound to make some shots at some point. If he's already missed 7 of his last 10, he's probably due for the next one to go in.
Listen,
I'm being a little sarcastic here. He had some very clutch moments, but through an entire playoff series outside of that Lakers one, and for most of entire games, he's just not consistent enough for me. And I don't want the guy that's going to score 15 points one night and then 35 the other night. If you score 35 one out of every 10 games, that's what Jamal Murray does. That's not what I want. I want a guy that can go out there and lead his team and be more consistent, shoot above 40%, hopefully closer to 50%. And especially when you're not even the best player on your team, the defense doesn't even focus on you like they focus on Jokic. You should be able to excel when you're riding shotgun to a championship like that.
I mean, those are fair criticisms. I'm not saying it's not, but I do listen. Would I have included him for to acquire a guy like Jaylen Brown? Yeah, I think I would have, because I think this team needs a bit of a shakeup. But I'm also not sad that they didn't do it, and I am actually kind of somewhat encouraged that there's a little bit of loyalty with the part 2, the Robin that helped you bring a championship that this city never thought we were going to have. And so I look at it a little bit differently. We can continue that discussion. We're always going to see it differently one way or the other, which is fine. And I think Jamal Murray's very polarizing in this city for the very same reason. There's people that look at it the way that I do, and there's people that look at it probably maybe even a little bit more of late because of the lack of production in the postseason in the past 2-3 seasons. Maybe more look at it your way as well. But we'll segue here and get back into summertime means baseball time. It also means the Rockies are 2 games from their win total last year. They're sitting at 41 right now. They got a whopping 43 last year. My assertion has been they're not going to lose 100 games. I've been saying it all year. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But as we approach the trade deadline, which I believe is August 3rd, Dante, there are pieces that can be moved within the organization to try and bring back something to keep continuing to build a core. Is there anybody that is off the limits for you?
Ooh, Chase Dollander, Cole Carrig, Kyle Karros, TJ Rumfield.
You don't like? What about Hunter Goodman?
If you get blown away with an offer, I think you have to listen at this point. I love Hunter Goodman. I think he's a part of this core going forward. I would like to keep him here, but if we're talking about a deal that involves a number 1 pitching prospect in another organization with some other pieces as well, I think you have to listen at that point. But you'd have to get, at least I would have to get blown away with an offer for Hunter Goodman. Only 3 more years of team control after this. It's maybe coming towards an end. I don't know if he wants to be a Rocky longer than that. I don't know if the Rockies want to sign him to a long-term deal. It's still yet to kind of be known what that relationship is like, but I would like to keep him here, but I'm not saying he's off limits.
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it would have to be kind of just you'd have to be taken aback by whatever the offer would be for me to kind of consider it, because at some point or another, and you can talk about pitching as much as you want and where they are prospect-wise, but, dude, at some point, why are you keep kind of building? Like, you have to at some point have a core going forward. And listen, I know you just selected Daniel Jackson in the draft, who was basically the Heisman Trophy winner for baseball. I forget what the award's called, but it's the equivalent of winning the Heisman.
The Golden Spikes.
There you go, Golden Spikes for Jackson. But you also have to see if that's going to play out. Like, I'm done with the prospects type of deal. If somebody's already performing at a high level, so you're going to trade that guy and then get prospects in return in hopes that in 3 or 4 years that they're playing at the level that Hunter Goodman's playing at right now, or that Jake McCarthy's playing at right now. So at some point or another, you're going to you need some of these guys to be around when the tide actually switches and you go in, you are actually competing for wild card berths and playoff berths. And hopefully at some point or another down the road, trying to get to another World Series, man.
All right, you convinced me. We're keeping him. I'm keeping him. I'm in.
As crazy and far-fetched as that sounds, yes, that's where the Rockies were at one point. We're also talking about a team that's lost 323 games over the past 3 seasons. But I am with you. If it was like, I just don't know
the
that
Yankees offered Cam Schlittler, which they're not going to do. I got to take that trade, though.
I'd probably agree with you there. But they're not going to do that.
Yes.
So there's other pieces that can be moved. I think Sensatella is probably going to be gone. Give me a couple other ones that you think are gone.
McCarthy, Moniak,
both gone.
Or I was just throwing out potential guys that could be gone. I would like to keep Moniak. I still think there's a lot left there. I think his OPS is off the charts. He missed a little bit of a chunk of the season here recently, but he was absolutely killing it prior to that, and he was the number, and I keep coming back to it, but he was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. You don't get drafted first overall by accident, and it's just not how it goes. He kind of flamed out in Philly, flamed out in Los Angeles, and he's found a home here, and I'd like to see that through and see what he can be going forward. McCarthy, I believe, is a little bit more replaceable. I don't know. It depends what the Rockies' path wants to be. Do they want to try to compete next year, or are they competing for 2 to 3 years from now?
Does Paul Podesta need to make?
They need to have a vision.
Be very aggressive in this trade deadline, or is it something like, hey man, we're already kind of ahead of schedule on what we thought we were going to be at this point?
I don't know. That's for Paul DePodesta to know, because I truly don't know what path they want to go forward here, because I would like to see them try to be competitive a year from now. I think the only way to get to the playoffs is by starting to be competitive and not putting up with the BS of having Kyle Freeland go out there and start every 5 games, or the BS of trading away your best player like Hunter Goodman. I think they have to decide what path they want to go down to and commit to it.
Hit our quota for Rockies. For Dante Gomez, it's Marcello Romano. You've been listening to Denver Sports Tonight on 104.3 The Fan.
They're back. Our free limited edition Training Camp 2026 t-shirts. We currently have drops at various Santiago's Mexican restaurants across the metro area. Limit 1 per person while supplies last. For more details and to find the location nearest you, head to denversports.com/shirt.
House calls? It's 2026. Doctors and lawyers don't make house calls anymore, right? Not true, actually. At 303 Law 4040, we always tell you about how we want to meet with you in person. Now, generally that means, yes, you come and meet my lovely wife, Kimberly, and I in our Denver Tech Center offices. But sometimes you're hurt, you're seriously injured. You're either still in the hospital or you can't move around, you don't have a car yet. And it's important to get a plan in place quickly when these things happen. So we'll come out, we'll do a house call. Heck, we had one house call recently. The dog came out and took a little ride in the DeLorean. It was fantastic. I'll bring the DeLorean to the house, but we're here to help. And actually, my lovely wife, Kimberly, says that's one of the best parts of the job is when we get to spend time together in somebody's living room, helping them out as they're in a tough spot because they were injured in an accident. So if you need us, go ahead, save that number in your phone, 303-LAW-4040. That's 303-LAW-4040.
Shop Honda keeps car buying simple. One price, one person, 1 hour means no